Joining us now is Ezra Shankin. Ezra Shankin is online, so let us welcome him.
It's good to be with you.
Good morning, Ezra. Ezra, on Monday, the government introduced legislation to provide buffer zones around religious places, whether they be freestanding or whether they are in a community center, that a buffer zone is going to be 20 meters. So why do you think the government felt there was a need for this?
You know, I think if we're coming out of a time, I know just this past weekend within our own Jewish community, of which I have the privilege of leading the federation that guides our community here in British Columbia, we saw some really terrible acts happening, with some synagogues in Toronto were shot up, and we've seen more and more aggressive behavior around places of worship. We wanted to, at the end of the day, over the last number of years that we've been working towards this, wanted to make sure that sacred spaces remain sacred, that these are spaces for spiritual enlightenment for all of our faiths and ethnocultural traditions. We want vulnerable people who are coming to pray to not have to be intimidated to come in the door. This is a balance between free speech and the opportunity for free assembly and free expression of religion. So this is a deeply important step in the right direction for I think all of our communities.
And Ezra, while you're on the phone, I do our listeners are listening to you today. I think we've seen from the leaders in our community, in the South Asian community, outright condemnation of the depth of anti-Semitism that has developed. And and the community has been persecuted itself. The religious places in the Sikh community have also faced atrocities outside their doors and inside as well sometimes. So I think there is a lot of understanding. And what really pleased me about Monday was to see all the different faiths standing together.
That's right.
That's
right.
It was a very powerful presentation in the Hall of Honor when it was made, to see all of you standing there side by side. So I want you to explain to our community about some of the challenges being faced by the Jewish community now in the wave of the current geopolitics. But even before the geopolitics, this was a real issue facing Canadians.
It's actually a beautiful observation, Jenny. I think that this is, I also felt that way looking at the Hall of Honor and seeing all the different faiths. And it reminds us that this isn't about one community. This is about many communities that have faced threat, that have at different points in time had to deal with situations that impeded their ability to assemble and to pray and to play and to grow together. This is for all of us across British Columbia. Jewish community absolutely has been one of the highest targeted religious groups in Canada for many, many years. I talk about us being at the top of many unenviable lists, the lists you don't want to be on the top of. We're at the top of. So we're keenly aware of this type of activity and why it is that we want to take both reactive and proactive response to this to create safe spaces for all people. I'm hoping that over time this becomes just another law in the books, because people won't be targeting institutions and will learn that this is not what we do here as Canadians. But for the time being, I think it sends an important message to those who may want to come and disrupt, that we respect their ability to express themselves, but we respect that in the appropriate spaces for them to express themselves, not inappropriate spaces.
You know, Ezra, growing up, one of the beliefs I held, and I still hold it today, that our religious places are our sanctuaries. And they have to be the safest place on the planet next to schools, right? Schools and our places of worship have to be really, really safe places for everyone who goes there. So it really hurts me at one level that we're at a stage where we need legislation to tell people to behave outside our religious institutions. It's mind-boggling.
You're 100% correct. It is a really talks about the times we're in. I'm very disappointed about that. I couldn't agree more about how you see sacred spaces. I think about these are the spaces we go to when we're hurting the most, when we're in our most troubled states, when we're trying to find pathways forward. This is where our most vulnerable people come to feel enlightenment in their darkest times. It is so critical that these spaces remain sanctuaries. And I just think about myself and people in my own family at times of loss and also at times of joy. These have been the spaces that we have come together to mark those moments as we connect with the divine. And I think that that's really, really an important thing for us to remind Canadians. And sometimes we remind our British Columbians through legislation. Sometimes we remind British Columbians through education. And sometimes we remind British Columbians through enforcement. But these are all different ways to help our British Columbian community understand where our values sit.
Absolutely, you said it correctly that what we need is a multi-pronged approach. It's not just being proactive, we have to be reactive as well. And I think right now, for me, in the midst of the geopolitics that we're living in, it's very, very easy for people to start labeling and to go after people's religious practices. And we have to I'm reminding our listeners as well, these wars that are happening right now, the war is a geopolitical war. It is not a religious war. And so people who live in Canada or live in England or live in the United States, we cannot assume that because their faith is on one side or the other, that they are complicit with those who are doing harm. I'm trying to say it in the most neutral way.
No, I think you're saying the right thing. The importation of conflict to our country, here in Canada, and more specifically in our province, so many of us came here escaping conflict, and we know that in the world there will be conflict, but we created this safe space here in Canada. And if we allow that safe space to be penetrated by conflict that is not of our own making, then it really it diminishes the value of what Canada offered to us in the first place and why we're here. I don't want to live through conflict here. I don't want you to live through conflict here. There's a lot of things going on in this world, but we can rise above that here and stand together so that we can have peace and security here in Canada, because that's what we came here for. That's why we're here for so many people. And these laws and these things that we're putting on the books is to remind us, wait a second, this is not us. This is not what we do here. We are here to come together, to escape conflict, to practice freely the things that matter the most to us, and for us to celebrate that mosaic as a larger Canadian community. And so when I look at this, I say, we'll try all the different tools to remind people of what they should already know. And through these tools, I hope that we move towards a more positive future, really for all of us.
I think you've said it beautifully. Many of us chose this country. I came here in 1975 because of its
Yeah.
diversity, its
Mm-hmm.
multiculturalism. This is where my children, grandchildren, and great grandchildren are born. And like you, let us appeal to everyone on all sides. Let's not bring other countries' conflicts into our homes and into our religious institutions. Thank you so much, Ezra, for joining us today.
No, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.